It's Friday. There's no structure to the show on Friday. And from what I hear, it's going to be another circus clown show because we're going to have like 50,000 people here. So let me introduce a guest before the 50,000 people show, before they show up and just mess up everything up in here, the climate, the atmosphere. But she brought some good energy. I know her. So I remember
she smells
actually
good too.
Yeah, that's what I'm just saying. Like, I know the other people might not have the room smelling as good. So I'm trying to get this in now. I actually did an article. I don't even think she remembers. We ended up at a pool hall with Wendy Washington. Do you remember this?
Oh my gosh.
Do you remember this? That was a
show. You better
not say nothing. You better shut up. Don't you tell nobody how long ago that was.
Survived.
Yes, no. I remember. I remember you.
I do too.
And now she's out there in them streets. She's
out the streets actually.
Yes, and I mean, listen, your voice is amazing. You are one of my favorites on that show that you were on. You were one of the only people that I actually liked. I'm not even gonna get into it. Wow. You are now gonna be on Iyanla. Somebody's fixing somebody's life tomorrow. I need to know what's going on because I've been following you and your daughter. Let me welcome to the show. You know her. I know her. Her name is Monifah.
Hey.
One word. Yes. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. How you doing?
Come through. That's Sil.
Hi, Sil.
That's
Nice to meet you.
Monifah.
Hi.
Yes.
Hey, everybody.
Hey. All right.
Phone on silent. I was just trying to do something.
That's okay. That's okay. So before we get to this Iyanla thing, what you got music wise? What you doing?
I'm working on it. This journey of healing and coming back to myself and redefining myself as an artist, but more importantly, redefining and loving myself and healing up my spirit has been a long journey. And I think what has been happening is that I've been absolutely it's an evolution. And so it's been a part of, the music has been a part of it. And I've been telling my story in the music that I've been doing. And I haven't put anything out since 2015. I did put out a single called One Moment, which was about, taking time for yourself, to care for yourself, how important that is, screw everybody else.
No, don't you do it.
I'm good.
Okay.
She's like, I ain't got time. I ain't got it. So let me say, yeah, exactly.
No problem.
Yeah. But so I've just really been focused on, my actor, creatively I've really been focused on the acting and directing, producing. Thank you. Oh, thank you. And taking care of myself. So everything that comes through me and from me is what it's supposed to be.
Authenticity is the word for the decade.
Yeah, man.
It should be moving forward.
Yeah, man.
I actually started watching your journey with your daughter because your daughter, she's a devout Christian.
Well, she's a Christian. I wouldn't call her devout. I mean, but she loves the Lord.
She was checking and challenging you on scripture.
Yeah.
I remember that when you were
I
on that show.
wasn't gonna win that battle. Yeah, I wasn't even gonna try. That was not even that's not even my thing. Like, she knows.
Not scripture.
Not scripture like that.
You got that.
Yeah.
So are we gonna? So her name is Akemi.
Akemi. Mm-hmm.
Okay, you guys are gonna be on the Iyanla. Who called the Iyanla?
Actually, the opportunity was presented to me.
Okay.
And when I thought about it, I said that is the relationship that I, would want to address, and help begin to heal more or delve in. Because for me, I've been on my journey for the last 8-10 years, it's just been but for my daughter and having me as a parent and growing up with me and my life and, what I chose to do, that was a whole different situation. I knew she had some things she probably needed to, speak her truth.
You seem a little uncomfortable talking about some things. So
I'm absolutely not.
Okay. I want to get it out.
No, I just want to make sure I'm clear because
what's your journey? What is this 10-year journey?
First of all, being sober. And after clearing the symptoms, because that's all those are, alcohol and drugs are symptoms of what's really going on, and then actually taking the journey to heal my childhood and how I grew up, the soil in which I was, raised.
From New York?
I'm from New York, absolutely,
okay.
And grew up as a teenager in the early 80s. There was a lot of going on. I think a lot of us, and people, period. I mean, when you're not in control of we're not in control of how we grew up, how we in our environment when we're children. So we always have some stuff to overcome.
You can some
shit more, to overcome more than, and some more than others. And you don't judge it. It's yours, and for me, it affected a lot of, things in my life. So, and I wanted to break the pathology because, I grew up in a family of drug and alcohol abuse. Not surprising that was the way I self-medicated. That's not surprising. But when I thought about my grandkids before they were even thought of, that was the thing that motivated me, because I didn't want my grandkids to come into a world where the same type of environment that I came into, period. And I didn't want them to know me that way. And I didn't want to leave my daughter like my dad left me. My dad was a heroin user, and he OD'd when I was 9 years old in his office. He's worked at Harlem Hospital. They found him in his office, dead. That was that was super traumatic for me. Then, after that, just began to lose a lot of people in my life that I was very close to, and it started there, and among other traumas. So,
You were a teen mom.
19.
Right?
I had Kemi when I was 19.
Were you ready for that?
Absolutely. Ayanna really helped me tell some hard truths to myself about that. The reason why I accepted the opportunity, right, and I took it, was because I trusted. I trust the process. I believe in it, and I've been reading a lot in Ayanna books.
Me too. Since
I was 18, since I was young. Like, I'm a reader. I'm super bright. I'm brilliant, actually, and real talk.
That.
And I've always been interested in self-help. Obviously, I probably knew I was going to need it at some point, but no, it's intriguing, because I thought either I was going to be an entertainer or a psychologist. That's I'm really love the mind, things of the mind. And so I was reading. I knew who she was for a long time, and I trust her, and I said, why not? And I love what she does on Fix My Life.
So what are we gonna see tomorrow?
A lot of truth, a lot of truth, and for me, non-resistance. I mean, because I'm open. Like, I'm super open. Of course it's scary to share things that you may not have shared on a public platform, but for me, your secrets are secrets, and I just want to be whole, and as whole as possible, as peace-filled as possible, and healthy. And I want to heal that mother-daughter relationship, because it's very important.
Special.
Yeah.
What's Kemi doing?
She is a wife and mom, and she's a lead singer of a Latin jazz band. So she's good. Yeah, she's
following
good.
in your footsteps.
3 baby.
Yeah,
she's got
3 babies.
She has 3.
You have 3 grandchildren.
Yes,
Monifah, you have 3 grandchildren.
I sure do. God is good.
God bless you. Yeah, no, for real.
Yeah,
for real. The toughest thing that you had to go through with this Ayanna piece, the toughest truth that you had to confront, or the toughest thing that.
Oh, the toughest thing.
Yeah.
The toughest thing I would have to say is really, without personalizing it, really admit to myself that I didn't want a child. That was it. Like,
she wasn't planned. No, it's just like, who plans a baby?
Who plans
at
baby?
19?
Well, some people, right,
Yeah.
at 19,
Yeah.
but no.
With the
absolutely
career.
wasn't planned, and I wasn't ready for a child. And that is what Ayanna helped me with see. And she was like, it's not personal. It's not you didn't want a Kemi.
Right. You didn't know who she was going
Right,
to be.
I didn't know. I just didn't want the responsibility of a baby. Like, I did it. But, she's here, and she's here for a reason. Who knows? She's part of what's keeping me alive.
And let's dig through that. We've been over the last several weeks, probably since Brett Kavanaugh, even probably before that, Bill Cosby, been talking about, a lot of things, right, on the show. And a lot of people are coming to a reckoning with themselves, because the chains never break unless we break them, right? And it just becomes a cycle, right?
Absolutely.
We just keep passing these on, like we pass along diabetes and other heart,
exactly.
We pass all of that along.
Yeah.
For you to make this step is important. Kemi seems to have already taken a turn, a different path than you took, which is interesting, you know, because it's sort of like some people are like, they either become just what they see or they do the exact opposite.
She did the exact opposite.
Yeah, but that's rare.
Yeah.
That takes a certain character.
She's a
because
Taurus.
most of us follow.
We just kind of go into the
most
kind
of
of
us.
fumble into the I quite honestly think, because even with my mom, of course, I was raised by I was raised by my mother. We were close. had, we had that mother-daughter dynamic is bananas. Like, anyway, I don't care if you have the least dysfunction as possible, it's already layered.
Yeah.
But then when you throw in pathology and all that stuff, generational stuff, it gets really crazy, and depending on how, people grow up or raised. So it was, I raised Kimmy different than how I was raised by my mom, which was surprising because I was super close to my mom. I was always with my mother. I never felt abandoned by my mother. I was always with her. That was like my first best friend. Turn around, I'm completely different to a Kimmy than I was raised, how my mother raised me. It's just weird how you're playing out the same cycles, but they come out differently. Like depending on who you are, what your own experiences are in the world. So from what I went through and coming up, after being raised after a certain age and into my teen years, I had experienced some other stuff that was different than what my mother, went through.
Like what?
I was sexually assaulted. I was violently sexually assaulted. And that changed the. Yeah, I think that we're so marginalized as women. And I think that this Me Too movement is real because it is real. Because it's unfortunately, sexual assault is so rampant and so real and so ordinary in a lot of our lives. Like it's kind of like a byproduct of being a woman, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So because I'm usually surprised when I hear that. It just feels, it's like, what? It's like, wow. Like it's almost like, I got my cycle. That's how it feels.
Well, I talked on the show before about how in my age group, I'm Gen X, my dating process was very aggressive.
Yes.
And depending on where I was, when I went to school in Baltimore, DC dudes were very, very, very aggressive. It became the norm.
Right.
Like almost like if you want to date that kind of a guy, be prepared for that kind of experience.
Exactly.
Right? So we really grew up in that.
Yeah.
And then I don't think the music and the entertainment business helps.
It was another
it's another
side
layer.
of it. Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely.
Growing up in, East Harlem, New York, you got the dudes from the street, and everybody's trying to to hang out with the stars, and that fast money, that fast, all of that stuff, and that looks glamorous and glitzy. I grew up in that, you know what I'm saying? And trying, something for nothing, moving fast, thinking you're grown, and I'm thinking I'm grown.
Young. Money is there,
Right.
and there's no
There's
moral
culture.
There's no courting. There's no dating process. No,
we didn't have what's courting.
Right, exactly.
It was like you like this kind of like like a peacock, kind of just walking around. You put on whatever you think is gonna be attractive, and and you go try to fish out the big catch. Like we had a lot of stuff in my neighborhood, and I think in my age group, like you said, we were dealing with a lot. We lost a lot of people.
Yeah.
Watch people die. We don't realize how traumatic stuff like that and how our bodies keep that score. Like there's a book called Body Keeps the Score. Amazing book. But it goes somewhere. It doesn't go away.
Right.
You may feel into your DNA. It's in your spirit.
And how you make your decisions, and how you make friends, and how you work. All of that stuff. It's insane, and I'm really, really aware of that for myself, and it has to change. I don't want my grandchildren. I want to interrupt it. It's gonna stop with me. Period. Like that's it. Like it's gonna be some new shit. Like it's not gonna be the same shit.
Y'all gonna have some.
It's gonna be something, but it's gonna be new shit.
Right. Yeah.
Not the
like
same.
We have what to do with our trust fund money and how. Yeah,
right. And my focus is legacy. My focus is legacy building. And that's my push. It's not about trying to have the hottest record or just fulfilling my dream. I'm so less selfish in my my outlook.
Thank God for time.
Yeah.
I think I often say this. A lot of us don't give ourselves time to grow into the people we're supposed to be, and we're so quick to run out into life instead of just wisdom comes with time.
Yes.
And let's give ourselves a chance to sit into that. Like. You couldn't be this person today without those experiences, but now you're going to use those experiences to make sure the next generation and the next generation is going to be okay, because you're not going to sit in a dysfunction.
No.
And I was surprised because Kemi seems to have it all together. So I was like,
Oh, she seems to have it all together.
Oh, look,
really?
look. Okay,
she's
so we're gonna
27.
all right, but
She don't know shit yet. Barely.
She was like acting like your mama on that reality show that you were on.
Yeah, it's funny. So they take it. I used to call her and her husband, and it's funny because they know and they laugh. The Mr. and Mrs. Dummy, because like it's affectionately, like
Right.
real talk. It was because I'm like, y'all don't know nothing. Okay, they tell me, her husband is very here with it. He's Bahamian and he's very smart and he has a logical outlook, a great logical outlook
on paper.
On paper,
it looks
and
good.
when it,
Right.
when your thought process, absolutely.
Right.
But that's one thing, to have life experience and have lived something. You got to give yourself a chance. You can't think your way out of everything, like everything. You got to have you're going to have to bump your head and get some experience under your belt. Yeah, but that's my dude. We have debates every time I'm down there, and we talk about stuff, and, he challenges me on stuff and I challenge him on stuff. The belief system, what I believe, what he believes. He's actually a lot more, he's a lot less rigid than Akemi. Akemi's, and I think that has a lot to do with her control stuff.
Right.
She has to think she has to.
Yeah, I get it. I
get it too, and I'm like, okay, babe.
So what do you believe?
We're
talking to Monifah, y'all. It's the Karen Hunter Show.
Hey.
She's in the house.
I believe in universe, God. Well, he's everything, but I believe in love and God's love, and that's what I believe.
Keep it simple.
It's real simple. It really is.
Tell me about every tattoo that you have and when you got them.
Okay, so this was the last one, and this is
so that's on your
my left arm, left
arm.
forearm, where I can see it every day. Surrender plus acceptance plus truth equals life. And I think that's when you live, when you actually surrender, accept where you are, where you've been, and tell and walk in your truth. And
When'd you
honesty.
Get that one?
That was about a year ago.
Okay, that one look fresh.
This is fresh.
What about
this? Is. Did I do my elbows yet? Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
No, they're not ashy.
They're not ashy, right? Because I can't stand it. This is love is a verb.
Love is a verb. Okay.
Yeah, it's not just this, not the talking. And this is evolve or die. This is what started my journey, because once you ask for something, you got to be really, you got to be ready for what comes with it. And you got to be ready. This started, this is when I got sober. Like, it's not when I got it, but when I started, this was my mantra. Everything that has happened in my life from then till now is because that's what I called to myself. Because you can't proclaim some stuff and not really, because the universe gonna call you to task on it. You can't be on no bullshit.
Listen, I do not pray for patience.
It's like, right, because then you'll get a gazillion things to be.
I don't pray for it. I'm good with not being.
You don't want that?
Like me. I'm the same way. I do not. I don't pray for it. I just ask for acceptance, and I surrender to the will. I surrender to the will of God. Whatever He wants, I don't want anything outside of His will for my life. Or its will for my life. Their will for my life. I don't want anything outside of it. That's it.
Her will.
Her way, exactly.
Mother Earth.
Mother, exactly.
Anyway.
You're exactly right. I agree.
Ayanla, Fix My Life. It's tomorrow. We love Ayanla. She's amazing. She's amazing, and she either fixes you or pisses you off or both.
She does a whole bunch of
But the piss off is because you gotta sometimes that stuff is callous.
Do you have that in your episode? Do you get angry in your episode?
No, because I think that's my daughter. I haven't seen it, but I think that's my daughter.
So you haven't watched it yet?
No, I'll be watching it with the rest of the world.
You gonna be live tweeting?
My daughter and I are gonna go live together afterwards.
Okay.
We decided to do that.
I have a question for you since you haven't seen it. Are you prepared for
I don't
whatever
know.
her truth is? Okay.
I'm sorry.
Whatever her truth is about you. About your relationship.
I'm prepared now because I was there. So I know, I wanted that. I wanted that for her. You know what I'm saying? I wanted it for me. I needed to hear it, in real time. Even though we have been doing our work together before this.
Yeah.
But this was like she got to get up under some of the truths, and she was scared to death. But yeah, it was hard. That shit was hard. It was hard. It was brutally honest, and it was hard. But it's what I needed, and it's what she needed. I needed to hear it, and she needed to say it.
Well,
because you hide from your stuff, man. You can't have it both ways.
Yeah,
What you said about
ways.
you're as sick as your secrets.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah,
that might
man.
be your next tattoo or mine.
I'll just live it. I'm
that
good.
is- listen,
I ain't gonna
listen,
put that on my body
that's
nowhere.
crazy.
Right.
That is crazy, but that's profound.
It's real. It's real when you gotta like knock habits out, and because that was what I was hiding behind, to feel good, just to self-medicating. And then once I did that, then it was like, oh, word, I gotta feel. Okay. And then I gotta address this. Okay, hold on. You gotta really, to really stay.
How do you not? Is it a constant? Is it a daily? Like so the 12 steps. It's like every day you always say.
You live your 12 steps. That's right. I don't even know why. I think they should have an LA, which would be Life Anonymous, because it's really just about living your life. There are all types of addictions and things that we put before ourselves and our lives and people that we love. Right. So, it's not just drugs. It's not just sex. It's not just food. It's a lot of stuff. It's,
anything
that's anything that anything in excess and that's keeping you from
your best self.
From your best self is an addiction or a soother, a medication of sorts.
What I was going to ask is there something that you do every day to keep you due north, to keep you on track?
Pray and meditate.
Every day, is that the first thing you do before you put your
Sometimes it's the third, sometimes it's the fifth, but it gets in there.
Okay.
Sometimes I got to jump up and do some stuff, but I'm, praying. I do all, like while I'm walking around, I could do it right now. Like, I'm always in commune. Like,
What's
you know
your
what I
prayer
mean?
right now?
Oh no, I'm just saying
okay,
if in this moment, just for me to be to get it out, to not stumble over my words or just to allow spirit to speak through me.
Do you ever worry about relapse?
I don't worry about it. It's nothing to worry about. Right. If it happens, it happens. But if I'm doing my work, I don't see the reason why. If I'm clear, if I'm honest and I stay, there's no reason for me. I don't miss it. Okay. Excuse me, my nose running.
That's all right. It's a little chilly in here. But you know what? I am very proud of you because I saw you win. And I saw you through. And now I'm seeing you right now. You look amazing.
Thank you.
I'm very happy that you're doing this with Iyanla and that you keep doing your work. And I'm looking forward to the music that's going to come because that's what art is.
Yes, it is.
I can't wait for the music because you
can't wait to
sing
hear
your
it.
face off. Let me
you.
just tell you, Monifah can sing, y'all.
Thank you.
She can sing. Cuz you got anything else you want to ask?
It's your cousin.
Cousin Sil.
I love it.
Everybody's cousin.
Oh, okay, got it.
This is family right here. SiriusXM Urban View is family. The
That's
show
right.
is family. Your family. Thank you for
It's good
being
to see
here
you.
today. You too.
Thank you.
You too. Monifah, y'all. Listen tomorrow. You can follow her at the Monifah because that's the only one. All right. And Iyanla Fix My Life tomorrow, October 13th. Thank you again for being here.